If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. 3 IDPs killed and 17 injured following multiple suicide bomb attacks at Dalori camps in the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo meets Borno State Governor and service chiefs on the rebuilding of the Northeast, promises to tackle suicide bombings. Arewa Youth Consultative Forum set to review stance on quit notice to Igbos living in the North. And Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, defends action in last year's U.S. presidential election after testifying before a Senate panel probing alleged Russian interference in the election. Just a quick reminder to you that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. And log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device, or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have access to the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share those pictures, videos and news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. Let's take a look at some of those pictures that we have, and we can begin from Uyo in Akwa Ibom State, showing an erosion site. Our eyewitness reporter is concerned about this and asked the state government to look into it. We also have this picture of a dump site beside the police post in Surulere here in Lagos State. Our eyewitness reporter is worried about the health hazard which this could cause. Let's end with this picture from Apata axis of Ibadan in Oyo State, showing a collapsed bridge, which our eyewitness reporter says is as a result of the heavy downpour. And he's calling on the relevant authorities to act as soon as possible. Thanks for sharing your pictures with us. Let's cross over to Abuja now, and here's Markwe. Markwe.
Well, thank you, Ijoma. The All Progressives Congress, the APC, has won all 20 local government and 37 local council development area chairmanship seats in the just concluded local government elections. According to the results released by the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission last year, the All Progressives Congress won 369 councillorship seats, while the People's Democratic Party won 4 seats and Accord Party 3. After announcing the result, the electoral umpire, retired Justice Ayotunde Phillips, commended the peaceful conduct of the election and the spirit of comradeship displayed by all the political parties.
Tirelessly, the Commission has been working for months now towards this day, and I'm very happy and I thank God that all of us have seen this day hale and hearty. No life was lost, no disaster happened. And from now on, I wish you all a very successful tenure of office. I would like to see signs that you belong to a new generation of chairmen and councillors, and the people at the grassroots who brave the elements to come out to vote for you in the rain will reap the benefits and the dividends of your appointments.
Meanwhile, a coalition of 15 political parties led by the chairman of the Labour Party, Abdulsalami Abdulkadir, has joined the call for the political restructuring of the country. At a press conference in Abuja, the group decried the current economic recession, saying that political and economic restructuring is the only solution to the problem. They also cautioned politicians to avoid hate speeches.
We pronounce ourselves as the coalition for New Nigeria committed to 1. Economic, political and internal restructuring of Nigeria, empowering our youth, women and persons with disability through a well-articulated policy towards a better Nigeria, respect of the rule of law and protection of our democratic institutions, build a nation of great dreams and worthy of accomplishments, a nation where equity and justice shall be our guiding principle. We call on all politicians and well-meaning Nigerians to join this coalition and desist from making inflammatory statements capable of overheating the democratic process but should allow themselves to be guided by the provisions of the Political Parties Code of Conduct 2013 and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended.
A former military head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, is asking Islamic scholars to research into the cause of social injustice in Nigeria with a view to finding workable solutions. At the second annual International Conference of the Department of Islamic Studies of Nasarawa State University, KEFI, General Abubakar, who was represented by former Minister of Finance, says the pursuit of social justice will promote sustainable development. He adds that religion should be one of the vehicles that should be used in promoting unity in diversity.
Islamic scholars converge on KEFI in Nasarawa State to brainstorm on the issue of social injustice amidst calls for restructuring by a section of the country. The chairman of the occasion and former head of state, who was represented by a former Minister of Finance, challenged Islamic scholars to address causes of social injustice.
Some of the social injustices observed to be perpetrated in Nigeria include bribery and corruption, tribalism, nepotism, discrimination, poverty, youth restiveness, and poor education quality.
In a keynote address, the Secretary General of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs recommends social justice in terms of equal opportunities to access health, education and employment as a means of fast-tracking Nigeria's growth.
Here in Nigeria, the most common image of the Nigerian Muslim you will constantly see on television channels beside that of mosques and Muslim worshippers will be likely to be those of beggars in flowing jalabia, dirty, helpless, pauperized Muslims, on those hungry terrains of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is urgent. What type of social system has produced the richest Africa in the world today? And how has that the same system succeeded in inflicting armies of naked, hungry, ignorant, uneducated, and jobless youths on the Nigerian society?
The traditional ruler of Doma advocates the need for a united Nigeria.
It is in the best interest of every Nigerian that will remain as an indivisible nation. You can't in anywhere be respected, fragmented.
Although the theme of the international conference is Islam, social justice and sustainable development, some Islamic scholars are of the opinion that addressing issues of widespread deprivation in particular remains a panacea for the development of Nigeria.
Now, magistrates who fail to abide by the Code of Conduct for Judicial Officers are to face severe sanctions. This warning was issued by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Ononye, during the opening of the orientation for newly appointed magistrates. Justice Ononye, who was represented by Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Kumai Akas, asked judicial officers to be disciplined and embrace global best practices in their courts.
This is an orientation ceremony for newly appointed magistrates from the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The administrator of the National Judicial Institute, Justice Roslyn Bozimo, gave an insight into the essence of the orientation and charged the new judicial officers to embrace global best practices in their courts.
The objective of this orientation course, among others, is to acquaint you with the tasks ahead as newly appointed magistrates. There's no gainsaying that the magistrates' court occupy an important position in the administration of justice as they handle substantial number of cases at the grassroots. Let us all appreciate the fact that an effective administration of justice is the cornerstone of good governance, which in turn is a requisite for development. We must imbibe best practices that ensure smarter and better ways of dispensing justice.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria was represented by a Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Kumai Akas, and he did not mince words when he warned the new magistrates about their conduct on the job.
You will be expected to discharge your duties with competence, fairness, transparency, integrity, and with a great sense of responsibility. You must shun corruption and lead by example. You must adhere strictly to judicial ethics and code of conduct for judicial officers, which is applicable to the magistracy.
The increase in the number of judicial officers in recent time will hopefully accelerate justice delivery across the country. Amaka Okafu, Channels Television News.
Well, that's all from Abuja for now. It's back to you, Ijoma, in Lagos.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. Now, the consistent, devastating impact of floods is a cause for concern for residents of Asaba, Delta State and its environs. The people there are more worried because, according to them, things may get worse as the rains intensify. They want the state government to come to their aid.
The aftermath of over 3 hours of rainfall on Sunday in Asaba, the Delta State capital. The state secretariat located along Summit Road is flooded. Vehicles submerged and fences collapsed as a result of the heavy downpour. Residents are forced to make their way through the murky waters. Civil servants are stranded and overwhelmed by the situation. According to them, the flood has destroyed some vital documents, official records and other office appliances.
There are about 4 government offices here. There's the government printer, the education board, the pensions office is here, fire service is here. I'm sure none of them can access any of those things in their offices. So files are gone, furniture gone.
People that build houses on the roads, that is provided. If those roads can be broken down, and I think we can this problem will have a solution. But meanwhile, I want to advise the government that the government should intensify effort in this drainage problem of this capital.
Business owners in the premises also count their losses.
My 70 free freezer, water carry them. All our rice, gari bags, everything the water carry, floor carry everything. My gas cooker, my yam panda, everything, not even I see bring come out.
For the state government, it is important to forestall reoccurrence.
What we have done is to expand to make sure that we review the drainage system, and we are now expanding the drainage to be able to contain not only the level of water that we have now, but whatever increase that we have subsequently on account of the development. That is ongoing, and we are hopeful that by the grace of God, before the next rainy season, we would have been able to address this issue once and for all.
Delta is one of the states earlier warned by the weatherman to prepare for the storms. So it's no surprise that this has happened. The residents want relevant agencies to ensure drainage channels are built and silt removed across the metropolis.
When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's central bank governor rolls out plan to cut interest rates ahead of tomorrow's key monetary policy decision meeting. That's on Business. Please stay with us.